If you're an embedded developer, you absolutely know this feeling. The designer hands you this gorgeous, sleek UI that they've built in Figma, and then they look at you and say, okay, make this work on an ESP32. And you know, that gap between the beautiful design and the reality of embedded C programming, well, it can be a total nightmare.
I mean, look at this. On the left, you've got the dream, right? A slick, animated, totally intuitive HMI for, say, a poultry farm dashboard. It looks amazing in Figma. But then on the right, well, that's the reality. A massive wall of C code, written line by painstaking line, just to get one little part of that screen to show up. This huge gap between design and code is where good projects just grind to a halt.
And this gap, it has a huge cost. We're talking about endless hours of manual, tedious C coding. The development cycles get so slow and frustrating. And you know what happens? The final UI almost never matches that beautiful original design. And forget about making changes later. It's a nightmare. Plus, all that complex UI logic code, it's just a perfect place for bugs to hide.
It's a problem we've been dealing with in embedded for years. But what if? What if you didn't have to go through that painful swamp of manual coding? What if there was a bridge that could take you directly from that designer's vision straight to the finished hardware?
Well, that bridge is real, and it's called EEZ Studio. So what is it? Think of it as a visual, low-code IDE that's built from the ground up for embedded UIs. It is, quite literally, the bridge that connects the design world of Figma to the hardware world running the incredible LVGL graphics library.
So, what do you get with EEZ Studio? You basically get the full power of LVGL, but in a drag-and-drop environment. You start with all the fundamentals you'd expect, right? Buttons, labels, panels, even more complex things like arcs. You just pull them onto your screen. No more writing code line by line just to create a simple button.
And that same power applies to your layouts. You need to organize your screen into a complex grid. Forget about calculating all the X and Y coordinates by hand. You just use container widgets like grids and lists to build these really complex, responsive layouts visually. Everything just snaps into place perfectly.
Okay, what about adding interactivity, making things that the user can actually touch? It's just as easy. You need a slider, just drag it in. A drop-down menu, checkboxes, a full on-screen keyboard, they're all there, ready to go right out of the box.
Now for the really cool stuff, displaying data, which is, the whole point of an HMI. EEZ Studio has this amazing suite of visualizer widgets. We're talking dynamic charts, responsive gauges, simple bars, and classic meters. You can build a dashboard that looks incredibly professional in just minutes, not days or weeks. So, what does the actual workflow look like? It's really a simple four-step process. First, you get your design prepped in Figma. Then, you bring your assets into EEZ Studio and you visually assemble the whole UI. Step 3, you tweak all the styles and themes to make it pixel perfect. And then, the final step, you add all the interactivity and logic, without writing a single line of C code.
Now, that last part, that's where the real magic happens. You might be thinking, okay, building the screen visually is cool, but how do you actually make it do something? Right? How do you handle a button press or update a chart without getting totally lost in a maze of C event handlers and callbacks?
The answer is this amazing system called Action Basic. It's a completely visual way to create logic. You use these simple on-event triggers, like when a button is clicked, to fire off a whole sequence of actions. You can do things like change the screen, update a bars value, hide an object, change the text in a label, or even create these really smooth animations to slide things across the screen.
Let's actually see it in action. So here, we're reassembling that UI from Figma right inside EEZ Studio, side by side. The widgets are literally just being dragged onto the canvas and positioned. You can see that visual concept becoming a real, tangible software object right before your eyes.
All right, next we wire it up. Check this out. You can see right here how a button's on-event trigger is being visually connected to a change screen action. That simple drag-and-drop connection right there, that just replaced what would have been a complicated, messy, and really error-prone block of C code. So once your design is perfect and all your visual logic is wired up, you do one last thing. You press a single button. That's it. EEZ Studio takes everything you've built visually and generates all of the clean, optimized, and surprisingly human-readable LVGL C code that's needed to make it run.
And this is the moment of truth. This is where it all comes together. What you're seeing isn't a simulation. This is the actual generated code running on a real 7-inch ESP32 display. It's smooth, it is completely responsive, and look, it is a pixel-perfect match of the original Figma design. All of this was done in a tiny fraction of the time it would have taken to code by hand. You know, one engineer put it perfectly. He said, "This is the efficient, design-first embedded workflow I've been waiting 10 years for." And he's right. This finally closes that frustrating gap between design and code, and it lets us focus on what really matters, creating fantastic user experiences, not just fighting with UI code. So the only question left is, what are you going to build with it?